little fox.
Plastic pollution. Skyler surveyed the clean beach and let out a sigh of relief. Even somber Walter showed a hint of a smile. Skyler had helped to organize a beach cleanup for her school's Green Club. She had only recently joined the club after gaining an interest in environmental issues and eagerly volunteered to help plan the effort. The Green Club had teamed up with a local private school for the first time. Skyler was definitely impressed by Walter, the president of the private school's environmental club. Walter had not only gotten plastic utensils and straws banned from his school's cafeteria, but he'd also gotten the two schools together. But there was one thing about working with Walter that was challenging. He was always so serious.
This is going to look great for our yearbook,
Skyler said excitedly, snapping a picture of the beach.
It was a long morning, but we cleaned up the entire beach. Now it looks almost pristine.
We did a lot of work, but there's still plastic all around,
Walter said.
Huh?
Skyler furrowed her brow. The students had collected a huge amount of plastic debris, wrappers, bottles, and bags. Club members were now carefully combing through it, checking to see what was recyclable and what was not.
I don't see any more plastic,
she mumbled.
You might not see it, but that doesn't mean it's not there,
Walter said.
Haven't you heard of microplastics?
Oh,
Skyler said.
I've heard of microplastics, but I don't really know much about them.
Microplastics are tiny pieces of plastic less than 5 millimeters in size. Looking at the beach now, it's not obvious that it's still polluted with plastic. That's because microplastics are so tiny.
Where do microplastics come from?
Skyler asked.
They come from nearly anything that has plastic,
Walter said.
Even though plastic may take hundreds of years to break down, which is why we need to lessen our consumption, it still breaks down. And when it does, tiny fragments are released into the water, soil, and air.
Air?
Yeah, microplastics are even in the air, which means we breathe them in. Since the particles are so small, they can easily travel through the air like dust. Or they come from synthetic fibers like polyester that get shed from clothes. These fibers also enter the water when we do laundry.
Walter sighed.
Did you know that microplastics are in the food chain too?
Skyler shook her head.
A lot of microplastics get consumed by seafood.
Walter continued.
Small sea animals ingest microplastics, then larger fish eat them. And then we eat those fish. What's worse is that the chemicals used to make plastic can be toxic and even cause cancer. All this stuff ends up in our bodies.
I thought I knew a lot about saving the planet,
Skyler said.
but I guess there's still a lot to learn.
Walter nodded.
Microplastics aren't new, but our understanding of them is. And many people still don't see how prevalent the problem really is.
I wonder what can be done,
Skyler said.
Well, cleaning up the beach was a good thing to do,
Walter said.
It will prevent some microplastics from contaminating the beach. We should all recycle, of course, and try to use less plastic. Or we can use biodegradable plastic instead. New plastics are being made out of biodegradable materials.
but they might not be as biodegradable as we think. And some use more materials to make than regular plastics.
Skyler said.
It's also easier for wealthy people to use less plastic or buy different products, but not everyone can afford to do that. Green products are usually more expensive. It's hard to tell people to use less plastic when the alternatives are too expensive for them.
Right. And some products labeled green aren't really green at all. Companies just use green packaging or earth-friendly words to sell things at higher prices.
That's called greenwashing.
Walter nodded.
Yeah, I convinced my mom to use new floor wipes because the box looked eco-friendly. But later I read that they weren't any different from the other wipes. That made me mad.
He shook his head.
Saving the Earth is the right thing for all of us to do. But lots of corporations treat it as a way to make more money.
Our planet is running out of time,
Skyler said.
I hope we can find some solutions before it's too late.
Walter glanced up at the other kids, who were still busy sorting plastic.
There aren't any easy solutions. But you and I have joined these clubs, and today's project will make a difference. And right now, there's something else we can do.
Walter grinned.
Help the other kids. They probably think we're slacking off.
Skyler smiled back, pleased to see Walter lightening up. As they headed toward the group of students, Walter suddenly stopped.
Maybe our school clubs can collaborate more often,
he said. Skyler's smile widened.
Great idea!